he destroyed the team. And this is how. Let's go.
First practice,
Okay.
before a meeting, before any of that, like our first practice, we get on the field, and this when we in shorts and helmets and shit. It was like, it wasn't like a training camp practice. It was like an off-season OTA practice.
Okay.
We on the field, and he basically is like, there's no starters.
I remember.
He said.
I remember that.
So he came. You gotta remember this. You was all pro.
Yeah.
Me, Vic, and Macklin was damn near all pro bowlers, right? So coming off a year, how we came off, and you coming, you the coach, and we already started. And we like Pro Bowl. Had 2 Pro Bowls. You won all pro. So it was like you coming into guys. This the guy. Like we getting paid more than you. So you coming in here talking about we not starters. How the hell you coming in to the NFL and you the coach now? You talking about there's no starters. So that was the first. He rubbed me off. That was the first.
Because even that, you're right. Because I remember with the starters, right? It would be some of the backups going there. I'm like, yo, the ones was up, and I'll be in the group. You won't be there, or you will be in the group.
Exactly.
And I'm thinking,
we
like,
rotating like every play.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was like every play was rotating. So like usually, if you're a starter, you got like 4 plays in a row. But at that time, it wasn't like he had the first person going up, then the second person going up. It was like we was rotating every time, right? So I'm sitting back and I'm looking. I'm like, how the hell you coming in talking about there's no starters? You telling Deshaun Jackson, LaShawn McCoy, Jeremy Macklin, Brent Selleck,
that was Selleck. Yes,
Michael
right.
Vick. Like you telling all these guys we not starters? Asante, was Asante there or he left?
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there. He would have had a hard time with
God.
Asante. But it's like you coming in, you telling guys you not starters. So since day one, I'm like, this not gonna merge right?
Happy Mother's Day. What's up, Eagles Nation? It's your boy, BIRDGANG 31. How's everybody doing? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Salute to you guys. Without you guys, we wouldn't be nothing. We heard 2 Eagle greats, LaShawn McCoy and Deshaun Jackson, talk about their time in Philadelphia and how Chip Kelly single-handedly destroyed the Eagles. Now, hit that like, hit that subscribe for all my great Eagles content. We're going to get straight into this. Everybody heard how, LaShawn McCoy said that, him and Chip Kelly, had a couple of beef run-ins or whatnot because, Deshaun was a superstar coming off an all-pro season, D-Jax off Pro Bowl season, and we had Michael Vick, some of the key, prime players in the NFL at their time when he got here. They said that, Chip Kelly was a player's coach, He wanted to come in and do his own thing. He wanted to be number one, get all the power in the organization. He would kick Howie Roseman to the back of the building. And, he came in there and made some power moves. Let's talk about some of the things he said. Not being able to wear black socks. I understand you want everybody to be unison. I understand you want everybody to be on the same accord. But come on, guy. You got a superstar all-pro running back. If you want to wear black socks, white socks, green socks, I don't give a damn what color socks LaShawn wanted to wear. He should have been able to wear them. Everything matters with football. There's a lot of things that narcissists. That's probably a word in terms of the football world. For this football team, like you went in there, and from day one, you heard Shady talk about having my first meeting. I need you, the star, Shady McCoy, to be at the meeting. Shady's like, hey, coach, my best friend dad just died. I can't come to I can't come to your meeting. I support the team, but I have to be here for my family, in a time of need. And I think he kind of took that and rubbed him the wrong way. And like, oh, you think you're the star, you don't have to come to my things. And I think that's what started out the bad relationship with a Chip Kelly, LaShawn McCoy. It moved on to tic-tac things like him telling Shady he can't wear his black socks, in the football and at practice. Him telling the teammates they can't listen to their favorite music. If you want to listen to that type of music, go ahead and listen to it in your own headset. You can't have a team that's not bonded together. For one, you can't have a team that's not having fun together. power hungry to the point at which you want to change the culture, a winning culture, to the Chip Kelly culture. Things like no black socks at practice. Put your own music that you want to listen to in your headset so that no one else can be distracted by it. You know, football locker room is full of multiple personalities. A lot of these guys love getting hyped. Okay, you can listen to your music, but you got to do the clean version. Football is not church. You know, football is not religious to the point of where you want to control players that are performing at the highest level. D-Jax, multiple Pro Bowler. Shady, led the league in rushing. All Pro. Michael Vick, come on. Do I need to say more about Michael Vick? But like I said, I don't think it was I don't think it's too much race, but you got to look at some things too. The Riley Cooper situation. I don't think that was handled right. You heard Shady say he don't think that was handled right. He banished Riley Cooper from the team for like a week or two. Where no players can even talk to Riley about what went down. Because he knew what went down was foul. Any real GM would have fired Riley Cooper. Riley Cooper was no superstar. Riley Cooper had a good season with us. 700 yards, some touchdowns. But he wanted to bring all his people in to try to say, like, my new method of football, my new offense, my new generation of football is going to change the game. And it doesn't take talent to do it. You just got to fall in line and do what I say. That was crazy. But when Riley Cooper went out to that concert and said, I'll beat all you niggers' asses. Really? But then you got to go back to a locker room. And Shady said himself, he don't believe Riley was racist. I even have friends back in Cali, that are white. But when we got drunk, you start seeing some of that racism slip out. It's their upbringing. It's where they're from. It's where they live. He was at a country concert. Doesn't give him no right to use the word at all. But what I'm just trying to give you perspective of what was going down. How would he would have to feel? I would have made him come back the very next day. Come back, walk through that locker room with all your brothers, different colors, but especially the black ones, and apologize one after another after another. I wouldn't have banned him to his own house, banned him away from the team, then make him come back and do an official apology if he even did one. That was one thing, going to go to Oregon and bring all your Ducks to the Philadelphia Eagles was another horrible decision. Okay, these guys should never even, a lot of the players, like D-Jax said, should never even been on a football field. I think we all like Josh Huff a little bit. But was Josh Huff anybody great? Hell no. After we had the season, allegations went out on Deshaun Jackson that he's a thug. He's a gangster. He is a problem child. How is a guy that already been on the team for multiple years a problem child? If Jeffrey Lurie or Howie Roseman never came out to us and said he was a problem child, how could he automatically be a problem child? Deshaun Jackson said he posted, a picture of him, his buddy. I'm from South Central LA, just like Deshaun Jackson. Trust me, I'm from the same streets he grew up on. I know how it is. All my cousins gangsters. Straight up. All of them. Still to this day. Gangsters. Don't play no shit. Gangsters. And I can see how you want to give back when you got. When I first started really making money, I used to go to the hood all the time, pick up my cousins, take them to bars they never been to, take them out to events they never been to, games they never been to, concerts they never been to, or would have even been able to go to, and that made me feel good because I was giving back to my people out there with me in these streets. So I understand exactly what Deshaun meant. Like, I can't just make money and cut them all off. I want my boys to grind. I want them to see the good life. I want them to feel what I feel. So hopefully one day they can make decisions to make them get out of the situation that they're in. So a picture surfaced with Deshaun, you know, with his friend in his county blues, you know, just got out of jail, beat a murder case. And some reporter wanted to go out there and be like, look at him. He hangs out with all these murderers and killers. And, you know, this guy's going to be problems. He's not good for the team. Why? Because he supports his family. He got a lawyer for, you know, his family member that he loved. You know, his brother. Just because his brother made poor choices in life, probably put himself in situations he probably shouldn't have been in. You know, that's kind of like the Michael Vick thing with me. Michael Vick went to prison because his cousins were dog fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that even work out? You are not an extension of your family. You are your own person. You are your own man. There should be no reason a grown-ass man should get in trouble for actions that his friends or others take. Everybody has their own life to live. Everybody has their own, you know, way of how they want to live that life. And they all have the right to live it that way. But just because I associate, you know, with gangsters or thugs or whatever you want to call them, doughboys, whatever, does not make me a gangster, a thug, a doughboy. You know? You never know what history the people had together. You know, these guys could be sleeping in the same room all their kid life. You know, playing football in the streets together. Hell, the guy could be one of the reasons why, you know, the only one that could have been competition for you back in the day when you were in those streets, that probably helped you reach that next potential, you know, besides being actually on a football field. So, D-Jax is right, you know, but Chip Kelly took this information by this reporter and released the best receiver in Eagles history. Released him. Like, peace, deuces. Didn't even talk to him. Didn't go to him man to man. You know, now you're losing respect in your locker room. Didn't go man to man, just came and released the boy. Called his agent, say, hey, Jackson's gangster. I don't want that on my football team. He gone. You know, he gone. The best deep threat receiver in the history of the NFL is gone. Whose fault really is that, though? Because if you want to ask me, I think you got to give some of the blame, not just to Chip, but some of the blame to Lori. You know, you let this man have all this power to come destroy your football team. You know, you let him have all this power to come dismantle one of the best offenses in the league. Top 5 and everything. You know? And then, what you let the guy go do? Go waste money on some ex-Oregon player, Kiko Alonso, by trading the best running back in Eagles history to the damn Buffalo Bills for a linebacker, Kiko Alonso, that was ass. You know? You go get Bertie Maxwell. Trash. You bring in all these trash-ass receivers. You know? Jordan Matthews. Huff. You know? Curtis. Trying to change the whole culture of Philadelphia. They didn't need a culture change. They needed an offensive identity change. That's when Larry should have stepped in and put his foot down. Don't touch my players. Make them better. You know? Make them better. But no. He traded away the best running back. The best receiver. He started declining Michael. He wanted to change Michael Vick to not be Michael Vick, to be Chip Vick. And that wasn't his book either. Started playing Nick Foles, which I love Nick Foles. I was there in Oakland. 7 touchdowns. You know, my little daughter took a picture with Deshaun Jackson's mom. It was one of the greatest moments of my life. I sat right next to Nick Foles' parents at the game. We celebrated together the whole game. So this is not no slight on Nick at all. But when you got a guy like Michael Vick on your football team, a guy that can throw the ball 100 yards if you need to, in the air with power, one of the most powerful throwers in the game. And I know it was after the prison stint and he didn't have the legs he had before the prison stint. Still one of the fastest quarterbacks in the game. And instead of molding your offense around that, you decline his reps in practice. You know, you brought in DeMarco Murray, a cowgirl. You know, a guy that don't even run the same, you know, that his strength isn't even the same style. You know, zone type runner that you're looking for. But you bring him in because of his name. Because he had a Pro Bowl season. Because what he was doing in Dallas was working. It wasn't what we were doing in Philly, so it was definitely a bad fit. Ryan Matthews coming off injury. You know, San Diego had some good seasons there. Was no legit real running back. You could have gave Shady his money and kept both of them jokers on the team they were on. But you chose not. You chose to get rid of the all-time leading rusher in Philadelphia history. Because you had a little beef with him, because he had a little charisma, because he had a little style, because you didn't like the way he bought Bentleys and came to practice. You know, you're trying to make people fit your little mold, your little scheme, your little way of life. That was horrible decision by you, my guy. Horrible. You let these guys live. You let some of these guys taste the money that they taste, you know, that they make. Enjoy it in the off season. You try to give these guys bedtimes. Try to make these guys drink water as much as they want. You know, you hear one of our best receivers today, and Devontae Smith says he's on a McDonald's diet. He just got paid $25 million. You know what I'm saying? Ocho Cinco, McDonald's diet. All pro receiver. You know? So why were you trying to regulate these guys? You know, JPP even said he destroyed the team. You know? Jason Peters picking on one of the best left tackles in the game. Picking on him. Nagging at him. Because you want everybody to do what you wanted them to do. How you wanted them to do it. And it starts at the top, man. It starts with Lori. Lori should never give you that power in the first place. You know, should never let you trade away a championship team. Championship players. You know, these guys were, I know they went 4-12, but before that, 5 straight NFC championships. Every year they were getting better. You know, like, we had some cornerstone pieces on this football team that we could have just added to. But you let this man destroy your football team. That's crazy. And it's kind of like I said, I don't know if it's 100% racism, but he was definitely scared of the culture. You know? He's definitely scared. Having guys cut their hair because he didn't like it. That's horrible. You can't have a guy that's been through college, high school with hairstyles, and you know, whatever made them them is what made them them. You gotta let them be. You know, you can change your game on a football field, but you cannot change their game of life for these players. Especially if you're not trying to do it in a positive light. You know, everything was negative. Everything you were doing was toxic. So, you know, I give kudos to the great things he did, because to be honest, we did have a lazy football team at that time. And I do believe that Chip Kelly took the laziness out of our football team, and we still see the, effect from it now. The sports science was amazing. Going to practice, getting customized smoothies for each player. That was awesome. The no huddle thing took the league by storm. That year. It got our players back in shape. So even after he left, the players that played for Chip were in shape. And it brought a whole another level of football for this football team after Chip left. They were already in shape. They were already, high endurance type players. And you heard Banjo come on the other day and say, we just expect them to do what they're supposed to do when they're not around the building. It's our job to get these players ready for football. It's our job to make sure we put these players in the best position to lead. And he's also said that these cats nowadays are spoiled. Spoiled. You can't hit certain days. You can't practice certain days. Pads on certain days. Pads off certain days. Why would you want to practice football in a manner and a way that you can't play? It's a question. Why would you want to go out there and play patty cake when you're playing a men's game? So, like I said, long story short, Chip Kelly did destroy this Philadelphia Eagles team. Is it all his fault? Most of it. Does the players get some blame in this too? I'll say yes too. Because just because you were all pro, just because you were Pro Bowl, just because you were, best, some of the best at your position in the NFL, you should have been the leaders. Like, he shouldn't have to ask you to lead. You should have already wanted to lead. I know you're 23, 24 years old, young. But he was giving you an opportunity to take a team to greatness. Become a man. Set an example, a positive example in terms of, how you carry yourself on and off the field. And I'm not saying they should have changed everything he said, but I'm saying maybe they should have talked to him a little more. Maybe both sides should have talked. But I'm going to do this for you. You're going to do this for me. At the end of the day, both of us will feel equally, excited about working together. Because you ain't got to like everybody you work with. But you should learn to work with them well. I don't have to like the people at my job. But am I going to be a good teammate for them so they can understand that once we're all on the same level, everything runs smooth? I like smooth days. I like, great work environments. You ain't got to like me, but you're going to have to respect me and work with me. Teamwork make the dream work. And maybe they could have seen some of these things, but hey guys, let's buy in a little harder than what we're doing. All right, coach, I'm going to listen to my music. But at the same time, if it's offending anybody, I'll make sure I cut it down a little bit. Or something like that, I wasn't there in that locker room. I can't tell you. But what I can tell you, he did destroy this football team, man. He did. He destroyed it. He traded away history that we can never get back as Eagles fans. But he got his karma, went off to San Francisco, didn't do nothing. All the way up until, like, recently, with UCLA, before he actually done anything again. So, am I going to say he's a racist? I'd say he's more power hungry. Controlling. He wanted them to do exactly what they say. And there were some loose, wild boys back in those days. Football was a little different back in those days. They had a little bit more leeway back in those days. It wasn't as much social media back in those days. Well, some, but not as much as it is today. So, that's my take. That was a great era of football for the Eagles. We could have did great things with Michael Vick, Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin. I didn't even talk about how Jeremy Maclin got. Did they want to pay him? He was one of our best receivers. You know, you can't take away talent off a football team if you don't have talent to replace them with. As you see Howie Roseman this offseason, make sure he had talent to replace talent that left. Because that's what you got to do if you want a winning football team. So, it was Chip's first go around in the pros. Maybe he didn't handle it right. Maybe he thought he was back in Oregon. He dropped the ball. Lurie dropped the ball. You know, by letting him have all this power. But they're all learning mistakes from owner, GM, coach, which I think today they've all learned from. So, gonna be doing a lot more videos, guys. Just stay locked into the channel. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. You know, for all your Eagles news, man. You know, on the road to 10K. Gonna be giving out something special for that 10K. So make sure you hit that like, support, share. You know, all my content. 2024 is a new year. We're building a new dynasty here in Philadelphia. So we can let this one get put back on the back burner. But it was good to hear two Eagle greats really explain what was going on behind the scenes. How they were being dealt, you know, behind the scenes. And now we know the truth. So, fly, Eagles, fly. Hit that like. This is BG. Give you my Chip Kelly reaction. I'm out. Peace.